Good evening. Oh, come on, you can do better than that. So much fun watching all of the schools and the bands, the dancers, the drum lines. Thank you all so much. Can we give them all another big round of applause? I'm Winston McGregor, and I have the honor of serving as the Vice Chair of the Board of Education. Delighted to be representing our Chair, Dina Hayes-Green, here this evening. I also serve as the President of the Guilford Education Alliance, and we too are very delighted to once again sponsor this event so that public dollars are spent on teaching and learning, and that the community can provide this celebration and this recognition of our outstanding educators and staff. It's great to be back at Grimsley. I'm the proud mom of 2 Grimsley graduates, so go Whirlies. It's great to be here in the auditorium. I know that we weren't able to be together last year, and even though this year we have a limited audience and we're not shoulder to shoulder, I know that you are representing the excellence that exists across this district. The 10,000 plus employees strong, the 70,000 students, so thank you for being here tonight. This is really one of my favorite events of the year, and it's not just because of the band and the excitement or the festivities, but really it's because of you. You are the magic that make the sacred dance of teaching and learning work, and we really want to celebrate you for that. You know, the last 18 months have taught us something about the importance of education and the importance of that sacred dance of teaching and learning. And that only happens because of relationships. And you all know that better than anyone. Those relationships are built between staff, with parents, and so dynamically between you and students every day. And we know that bus drivers and maintenance workers, counselors, curriculum facilitators, teachers, teachers' assistants, cafeteria workers, everybody in the building, principals, and out interact with one another and build this web of relationships that really helps get our children across the finish line. And all of you, every single employee and staff person deserves to be celebrated. And I know that every single one of my colleagues on the Board of Education, several of whom are here this evening, believe that. And even in the moments when we disagree, we always agree that you and the kids matter the most. So, and I know the person that never forgets that is our superintendent. And she is an employee and a leader that I do believe deserves celebration and a great deal of gratitude for what she bears, especially in these dynamic times. And so with that, I would like to thank her for her service and her leadership and welcome her here up to the podium to get this evening really kicked off. Thank you so very much for all that you do. She also manages to do it and look like $1 million, and I haven't really figured that out, but.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Before I begin, I would like to ask all of the board members to please stand. Can we just have the light on there? I see Linda Wellborn, Anita Sharp, Betty Jenkins, and Kim Irby. Thank you for being here. I am so honored to be here this evening to welcome you all to the Celebration of Excellence. As Chairperson McGregor just indicated, tonight is a time to lift up the work that we do across the district and highlight educators who have been leaders in their respective fields. We recognize employees in 6 categories tonight: counselors, mentor teachers, rookie teachers, assistant principal, principal, and teacher of the year. These 6 categories and the 27 finalists who are represented are only a fraction of the outstanding employees that we have here in Guilford County Schools. And I'm thrilled that we are celebrating them here tonight. In a year when so many were barely getting by, these 27 individuals were finding innovative ways to connect and grow our gifted and talented students. Speaking of support, tonight's event would not be possible without the generosity of our supporters. So please help me give a great round of applause to the Guilford Education Alliance and Lenovo. Thank you so much. Thank you for funding tonight's event and for the many ways that you support our schools every single day. And now, let me introduce our MCs for this evening, Mr. Mike Hedenbach and Ms. Jules Marmanus. Welcome, welcome.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Buenas noches, qué gusto poder estar con ustedes esta noche, el día de hoy, a celebrar a sorry. This is what happens when I get excited, everyone. Good evening. I am so glad that we are able to be here with you this evening. I am Deputy Chief of Schools, Jules Marmanus.
And I am School Support Officer Mike Hettenbach. I was on this very stage just a few weeks ago for our summer graduation ceremony. I think I could get used to this hosting gig. Jusmar, do you think it's too late to throw my name in the ring for that Jeopardy job? I heard it's open again.
Mike, let's get through tonight first before you go run off to Hollywood, okay? Let's get through this evening. So we are going to start with our first celebration, and our first category is Counselor of the Year. And we have 3 outstanding finalists. So finalists, when you hear your name, please come up to the stage, collect your plaque, and form a line to our left.
Our elementary school Counselor of the Year is Melinda Hooper of Oak Ridge Elementary. Melinda knows the importance of bridging the gaps between school and home to create one overlapping learning environment and works to support students by empowering them with strategies tailored to their individual needs. Students are comfortable with her, and she is genuine with them. Melinda advocates for equity access and success of every student and collaborates with stakeholders to address school-wide data, policies, and practices to address systematic barriers to learning.
Our middle school counselor of the year is Shanna Richards, Guilford e-Learning University Prep. Shanna considers the success of her students and her continued advocacy for the schools that her students deserve amongst her greatest accomplishments. Shanna has students who are thriving members of the community, students who are living a life that they never knew was a possibility before meeting and having the most important conversations of their life during middle and high school registration meetings. When a child's dream becomes a reality, that's success. Those are the dreams that Shanna enjoys helping to build and shape.
Our high school counselor of the year is Jalissa Graves Middle College at UNCG. Jalissa is an advocate for all and wants to make sure that students are successful in any path. She wants to support families, ensuring that students' needs are being met holistically. Education is her passion, and she enjoys working with and supporting children of any age. She developed a strong sense of devotion to the community and the desire to improve the quality of life for youth through academic achievement, social emotional learning, and personal growth. She believes that everyone can do great things.
Congratulations to all these outstanding finalists. And now, for the 2021-2022 GCS Counselor of the Year, let's see, we ready? Shanna Richards, Guilford e-Learning University Prep. Thank you to these great finalists.
Now it's time to introduce our finalists for Rookie Teacher of the Year and Rosalind Tanner or Mentor of the Year and find out which of these outstanding teachers will take home the title. Please help me welcome back Winston McGregor, School Board Member and Executive Director of Guilford Education Alliance, and Superintendent Dr. Sharon Contreras.
This is what happens when you're on live television. We'll just make an adjustment.
She was so focused on the Spanish. All right, finalists, when you hear your name, please come to the stage, pick up your plaque, and form a line to my left. Our rookie finalists are Betsy Altman, Wellborn Middle. Betsy writes, one piece of advice that I can give to first-year teachers is do not compare yourself with anyone but the teacher you were the day before. Don't compare your teaching style, your students, or even your classroom decor with anyone else. Continue to grow and improve your teaching for your students each day. Do what works best for the success of your students.
Our next Rookie Teacher of the Year finalist, Brianna Davis, Southwest Elementary. Brianna writes, my belief about teaching is that teaching is not a linear concept. It's not a straight line we can just walk down and repeat no matter how tenured we are in the profession. Because of the diversity of students and capabilities you will encounter, I believe that teaching requires the skill to be both adaptive and flexible for the content and the student.
Min McNicholas, Northwest Middle. Min writes, students come from different walks of life, and it is impossible to really know what they are going through unless you begin the process of chipping away at the walls and barriers that bar the student from progressing forward. By getting to know your students on a personal level, you can begin to take a glimpse into the challenges and obstacles that they face outside of school and that may hinder them from truly blossoming.
And Neha Murali, Dudley High. Neha writes, teaching is about cultivating curiosity and bringing the students into the center of the learning process. Expectedly, their theories are usually wrong, which invests them into finding the answer through direct instruction. I center my instruction on creating a space where being wrong is a good thing, where effort is encouraged no matter the result. Congratulations to these finalists.
And our winner is Min McNicholas, Northwest Middle. Congratulations, Min, and thank you to all our finalists.
And now, let's meet the 4 finalists for our Rosalind Tanner Orr Mentor of the Year. Finalists, as you hear your name, please come to the stage, pick up your plaque, and form a line to our left. The nominees are Christina Biddle, Bluford Peeler Elementary. Christina writes, I think what it really boils down to is providing supports that are focused not only on the logistics and classroom-based issues, but also on the personal level. We must see our mentors and mentees as humans and meet their social and emotional needs as well. With so many leaving the profession, giving that personal attention and encouragement might go a long way toward keeping them in the profession, and giving our mentors the same personal touch might help ensure they are willing to mentor for years to come.
Nikki Glenn, Faulkner Elementary. Nikki says, I pride myself on ensuring that the emotional well-being of the teachers I serve is a priority. I don't just ask them how they are doing, but I acknowledge when they aren't and act on it immediately when necessary. For many educators, that is half the battle. They must know that we care about them and that we are here to help leverage the many tasks that education requires.
Carmen Glynn, Sumner Elementary. Carmen says, learn something from your beginning teacher. I love supervising student teachers because I know I will always learn something from them. I think it is important to show your BT that it's a give and take process from both sides. Be vocal about what they do to impress you. It is an easy way to encourage them to push through any difficult times they may have in their first few years of teaching. They will know they have value and are valued in their profession.
Carly Miller, Northeast High. Carly writes, the reality of mentoring is there will be times where your relationship is not perfect, much like any other relationship in your life. Ultimately, no matter what direction your relationship pivots in, your job is to continue to grow in your relationship through reflection and dialogue. Much like we all did in the year 2020, mentors should always be prepared to pivot.
Congratulations to these outstanding mentors. And now for our winner for Mentor of the Year. Are you ready? Carly Miller, Northeast High. We love the spirit. We are excited to celebrate this evening. Congratulations to Min and Carly and all of our outstanding teachers and mentors. Now let's take a break from the individual awards and recognize some schools, specifically the schools that had the higher than 90% graduation rate this past year.
For the first time ever, our district graduation rate topped 90%, reaching a record high 91.4%. Thank you to all of the principals, assistant principals, teachers, counselors, graduation coaches, and parents who helped get these students across the finish line. 12 schools earned a remarkable 100% graduation rate. These schools are the Early College at Guilford, Greensboro College Middle College, Hearns Academy, the Middle College at Bennett, the Middle College at GTCC Greensboro, the Middle College at GTCC High Point, the Middle College at GTCC Jamestown, the Middle College at North Carolina A&T, the Middle College at UNCG, Penn Griffin School for the Arts, the STEM Early College at North Carolina A&T, and Weaver Academy. Let's give them a round of applause.
But we don't stop there. Another 10 schools achieved a 90% graduation rate or higher. They are the Academy at Smith, Grimsley High, High Point Central High, Northern High, Northwest High, Page High, Ragsdale High, Southeast, Southwest, and Western High School. Congratulations to these 22 schools, which will each receive a $200 gift to spend as they please. They have earned it.
Next, let's recognize a category of employees who often don't get the credit they deserve: assistant principals. Just so you know, the reigning GCS Assistant Principal of the Year is now a principal. In fact, she took my old job at Southwest Guilford High. We have 5 finalists for Assistant Principal of the Year. Finalists, when you hear your name, please come to the stage, pick up your plaque, and form a line to my left. Chase Arrington, Western Middle. Chase writes, when students receive behavior infractions from classroom teachers, I encourage the teachers to consider the why behind their actions. I ask a series of questions to gauge the lens through which teachers view the problem. Through these efforts, restorative practices serve Western Guilford Middle School well during the 2021 school year. By connecting our Leader in Me program to develop student and adult leadership, adults started to change their perspective and approaches to student behaviors.
Felicia Bowser, nominated for her work at Mendenhall Middle and currently at Moorhead Elementary. Felicia writes, professional articles making claims about the achievement opportunity gaps and recommendations of best practices to decrease these gaps grab my attention. For example, I have coached teachers to provide immediate feedback to students as a strategy to positively affect student achievement. This appears so simple. However, there is a level of commitment necessary to facilitate this strategy. I have shared the joy of many teachers when positive students' outcomes result.
Candace Hudson, Page High School. Candace writes, as a high school assistant principal, I have the opportunity to build relationships and to work with students who need encouragement and guidance. Many students do not know what their future will be or what opportunities are even available for them academically and sometimes personally. It is our job to ensure that we are sending students out into the world with a plan. It is exciting to see the growth in students from ninth graders with no idea what to do after school to graduating seniors with a plan, and to know that I was part of that growth.
Charnel Shepard, Penn Griffin Schools for the Arts. Charnel writes, whether it was to address students not having access to technology or families in need of community services, I have been solution-based with my approach to make sure all students can overcome obstacles to get to favorable outcomes. My path aligns with me advocating for those who are traditionally overlooked, hard to deal with, and challenging. Whether it's supporting a student to get into a top-rated magnet school or working with a family to transition their student into a high school occupational course of study.
Whitney Sluter, Weaver Academy. Whitney writes, teachers and students crave authenticity. They want their leaders to be real. Instead of telling them about trainings they could attend or sending them a few videos to watch, I led them into this unknown world of online learning, equipping them to be effective online educators. I was not afraid to get in the trenches with them. I have always been a data-driven educator and have encouraged others to do the same. Data is at the heart of good teaching practice and differentiation for students.
Congratulations to our excellent Assistant Principal of the Year finalist. And now, I'm the lucky one. I get to say who's the winner. Are you ready? Chase Arrington. Congratulations to Chase and to our finalists.
Now, it's a time for a special treat. Do you know what tonight is? Do you know what tonight is? It is the 21st night of September. Performing the Earth, Wind, and Fire hit, please welcome Penn Griffin School for the Arts and Western High teachers Jordan Lee, Wesley McCleary Small, and Jordan Rosser.
Hey, everybody. Hey, hey, hey. We need y'all to stand up and join us real quick. This is a celebration of excellence. Come on. Hey. Go ahead. Do you remember the 21st night of September? Love was changing the minds of pretenders while chasing the clouds away. Arms were ringing in the key that our souls were singing as we danced through the night. Remember how the stars stole the night away. Hey, 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 party up. Say, do you remember? Sing. Party up. September. Ba-dee-ah, there never was a cloudy day. Ba-doom, 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 yeah. My thoughts are with you, holding hands with your heart to see you. Only blue talking love, remember how we knew love was here to stay. Come on, come on. And now December found the love that we shared in September. Only blue talking love, remember true love we shared today. Hey, 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 ba-dee-ah, say do you remember? Ba-dee-ah, dancing in September. Ba-dee-ah, there never was a cloudy day. Come on. Ba-dee-ah, say do you remember? Ba-dee-ah, dancing in September. Ba-dee-ah, there never was a cloudy day. Those bells were ringing, our souls were singing. Do you remember? Never a cloudy day. Now, hey, 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 ba-dee-ah, say do you remember? Ba-dee-ah, dancing in September. Ba-dee-ah, there never was a cloudy day. Ba-dee-ah, say do you remember? Ba-dee-ah, dancing in September. Ba-dee-ah, there never was a cloudy day. Sing with us. Ba-doo, 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 ba-dee-ah, yeah. Keep the celebration going. Ba-doo, 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 ba-doo.
What a fantastic performance, don't you think? Our employees are so incredibly talented. Now, before we announce the Principal and Teacher of the Year, let's see which school has the most spirit this year. Let me hear you. Now, I am showing some spirit this evening representing the Grimsley Whirly State Football Champions right here.
I don't know, a little bit of Paige Pirate going on right here.
What do you think? What do you think?
Paige?
Uh-oh, Jed. We gotta step up the game, Jed. Now, independent judges have determined this year's celebration. Mike, we gotta take that off.
Woo! All right. Thank you, Mr. Nagley.
Independent judges have determined this year's Celebration of Excellence Spirit Award winners based on creativity and overall energy. Spirit team captains, when you hear your school called, please come to the stage and collect your trophy. Now for our Spirit Awards, the Elementary Spirit Award winner is Blue for Pillar. Congratulations to Blue for Pillar. And now for our Secondary Spirit Award winner, Dudley High School. Dudley's coming, they're coming. I was trying to see if I could take the award from them, but I guess this didn't work. Congratulations, Dudley. Selfie time.
Congratulations. Now it's time to present the final two awards of the night. It is my honor to introduce you to our outgoing Principal of the Year, Eric Nagley.
Good evening. I'm so grateful to be here with you tonight to announce the next Principal of the Year. This past year has been an unusual one for principals, to say the least. We have had to think creatively about how to be a leader, how to bring people together while physically keeping them apart. We asked our staff and teachers to take on new roles and reach students in new ways, many of which we were still learning ourselves. But as principals, we strive to build a team culture, one in which we help each other do what is needed. This year, we certainly relied on each other, perhaps more than ever before. I know that the principals you're about to meet would not be here tonight without relying on a strong team of staff members who go above and beyond to do what's best for students. I'm grateful for my team at Page High, and I know these principals are grateful for theirs as well. Now it is my honor and pleasure to be able to introduce to you the 5 finalists for Guilford County Schools Principal of the Year for 2021-2022. Finalists, when I hear your name, please join me on stage and form a line to my left. First up, Katrinka Brown, Jackson Middle. Katrinka writes, "It is important that we celebrate our success, no matter how big or small. Students are celebrated throughout the year to honor and recognize those exhibiting academic success. Because of our efforts in focusing on students as individuals, our most recent testing and accountability data shows we met growth with every subgroup: Asian, Black, Hispanic, economically disadvantaged, English learners, and students with disabilities. Our school continues to focus on improving outcomes for our students. They don't get to choose their school, but we choose our careers." Congrats to Katrinka. Next up, Carla Flores Ballesteros. Carla writes, "Strong evidence exists to demonstrate that successful educational communities are tied to parent and community involvement, sharing information, inviting feedback, and empowering stakeholders to share in the decision-making process. In our last parent survey, parents reported that they would recommend Allen J. Elementary at a rate of 4.82 out of 5. They provided us with information on what type of support they need to help their students at home. Together, we can make a difference in our students' lives by building structures of success." I believe that we can empower each other to be the best version of ourselves. Congratulations. Next up, Marcus Goss, Andrews High. Marcus writes, "My leadership approach is to listen for understanding and utilize the expertise of those doing the work to address concerns. The success of this approach can be measured in the reduction of teacher turnover, the increase of teacher morale as evidenced by internal surveys, and the increase in student enrollment. Our ability to reinstate our PTSA and increase participation and membership is also evidence of a productive, safe, inclusive, and respectful teaching and learning environment. Congratulations." Next up, Abe Heggie, Fairview Elementary. Abe writes, "To enhance student climate and culture, I strive to be in the classroom. hallways, and recess as daily, enjoying eating lunch and playing with scholars during recess. The first thing I created for scholars was the Fairview Five, 5 expectations that all scholars do in kindergarten through 5th grade. This quickly normed the behavioral expectations of scholars, and staff had a shared vision on the 5 expectations. I created a scholar leadership team where I meet with scholars from different grade levels to gain their perspective on how to enhance school culture. Congratulations. Next up, Trent Vernon, Jamestown Middle. Trent writes, even in the best of environments, folks still encounter difficulties and can have concerns. I operate with an open door policy at Jamestown. Teachers, students, and parents are always encouraged to come and share any concerns they may have. They are encouraged to operate under a solution-oriented mindset. I will always listen, but ask that if you bring a concern, you should be willing to help find a solution. It is an expectation that all staff members operate likewise with their students, parents, and colleagues. Congratulations. All right, so at this point, Superintendent Contreras and our Board of Education have already joined us on the stage for the announcement. Finalists, as I call your name, please come forward to accept your plaque, then remain on the stage for the big announcement. Our 3 runners-up, in no particular order, who will receive a check in the amount of $300 are Abe Heggie, Marcus Goss, Trent Vernon, all right, so our secondary principal of the year, who will receive $500, is Katrinka Brown. Our elementary principal of the year, who will receive a check for $500, is Carla Flores Ballesteros. So now for the moment we've all been waiting for. Let's create a lot of noise. Please join me in congratulating our 2021-2022 GCS Principal of the Year, who will receive an additional check for $1,000, Katrinka Brown. Ms. Brown will now join me at the stage to say a few words. Finalists, congratulations again.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to hold myself together, I promise. I did put together some words because I wasn't sure what the outcome was because I have some wonderful colleagues standing beside me. But I did write a few words. Today is not about me. It is about all the educators that are out here in the crowd, that are streaming live, that have worked extremely hard during this pandemic. It has been our goal to work tirelessly to make sure our students are educated each and every day. I get the pleasure of working with some wonderful people at Jackson Middle School, and the board and Dr. Contreras, and everyone has allowed me to continue to do that work for the past 7 years. Although it's hard work, it's the work that's necessary, and it's the work that I get the pleasure of doing each and every day. I want to first say thank you to Dr. Contreras and our school board members, my colleagues, my Jackson Middle School family, my mother and my daughter, my biggest supporters who are in the audience tonight. My daughter was the first student, my first Jackson Middle School baby that really truly believed in me. And I will say that the work has been hard, having your mom as the principal, but being able to come in every day and understand why we do the work that we do. I would also like to thank, again, our superintendent, of course, because she has led the charge and paved the way for us to do this work every day for our students. For our board members, you all fight the good fight each and every day. We know that it's hard work, and we know that you have a lot of adversities that you face each and every time that you step into that boardroom, but we thank you. We thank the Guilford Education Alliance, because without the support of Lenovo and Guilford Education Alliance and all those people that, pour into our schools, we wouldn't be able to do this work each and every day. I am so off script, just so that y'all know. Nothing that I wrote is coming out of my mouth right now. I'm trying to hold back tears. But to all of our educators that are in the room and that are streaming live, continue to be bold and encouraged to do the right thing for kids. We have the responsibility to stand up against inequities, advocate for the students that we serve each and every day, and protect our most vulnerable students. And with that, I leave you with the statement that I always tell my daughter and all of my Jackson babies, because they're my babies, and those that know me know that I'm serious about my babies. If you can dream it, it's probably too small. Continue to fight the good fight. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations to the new Principal of the Year. And thank you to the outstanding finalists for Principal of the Year as well. Now, let's find out who will be the next Guilford County Schools Teacher of the Year.
One of these 6 finalists will go on to represent Guilford County Schools at the regional competition. Finalists, please come to the stage and form a line next to our board as we call your name. Tom Anderson, exceptional children's teacher at Christine Gree Education Center. Tom writes, many of my students have had autism, brain injury, genetic abnormalities, and/or severe to profound intellectual deficits. I strongly believe in the literacy on so many levels, and that reading skills is the great equalizer, not money or any other trait. Daily, I start my instructional day with group lessons that combine various literacy skills with communication language skills. My personal belief is that all students, no matter their challenges, can learn literacy-based skills and apply them functionally and for fun to various degrees.
Leah Carper, English teacher, Northern High. Leah writes, when it comes to teaching, I'm going to do what works for my students. Sometimes that means dressing up in silly costumes. Other times, it's selecting reading material that appeals to their interests, experiences, and ideals. Sometimes we have to take a whole day to discuss one small poem because my students are super engaged in it. Sometimes my students need a day to catch up with their assignments. I take cues from my students about what they need. My classroom isn't just my classroom, it's theirs too.
Shanice Foy, social studies teacher at Northeast Guilford High School. Shanice writes, as a teacher, I consider my philosophy to be authentic and inclusive of culturally relevant instruction. My lessons are centered around students researching or obtaining truthful information and presenting it in a manner that is culturally responsive and relevant. In being an authentic educator, I often express to my students how they should be proud of who they are and all their uniqueness. In doing so, I too have to model that behavior for them so that they know what it looks like, especially in an academic setting.
Tyrell Lee, Southeast Middle. Tyrell writes, the relationships that I build with my students are those that last a lifetime. They know that if it is possible, I will be at their high school graduations, and if they need any advice, they will gladly ask me because they know that Mr. Lee will always be honest with them, regardless of the situation. I try to help my students see the bigger picture, that this is much bigger than just their time spent in the classroom.
Melissa Mann, Western Middle. Melissa writes, I have seen students go from absolute non-readers to begging for more time to read. It is possible, it can be done, but it can't be done with standardized tests and comprehension passages. We have to stop making reading something we only do with another goal in mind. We have to read for the sake of reading. It is only after we have created lifelong readers that we should expect students to be accomplished test takers.
Marcia Moyd Williams, Gillespie Park Elementary. Marcia writes, one way that I ensure education transcends the classroom is using Gator Circles. During our morning Gator Circles, students can engage in meaningful discussions centered around issues, concerns, and events that are taking place in our communities. While discussing these issues within our communities, we aim to become problem solvers by using critical thinking skills to address different needs. Congratulations to these finalists, and I have to give a shout out to all the schools and staff behind these finalists, cheering them on and supporting them. Well done. And now to help us with the Teacher of the Year announcement, please welcome our Superintendent, Dr. Sharon Contreras. Okay. Live television. We're trying to see if you're paying attention. See, you're paying attention. Finalists, as I call your name, please step forward to accept your plaque and remain on stage. Our two runner-ups, in no particular order, who will receive a check in the amount of $300 are
Tyrell Lee.
Shanice Foy.
Tom Anderson.
Now our elementary Teacher of the Year, who will receive a check for $500 is
Marcia Moyd Williams. Our middle school teacher of the year, who will receive a check for $500, is
Melissa Mann.
our high school teacher of the year, who will receive $500, is Leah Carper.
And now for the big moment we've all been waiting for. Please join me in congratulating our 2021-2022 GCS Teacher of the Year, who will receive an additional check for $1,000. Our GCS Teacher of the Year is Leah Carper.
I didn't prepare anything to say. It says Leah Carper, clap, shake hands. Woo! Thank you for writing this for me. Not one person should win Teacher of the Year for this past school year. This was am I right? This was the hardest year we have ever gone through as educators. And I am so proud of where we've come and what we've learned. And I want us all to know that we're all winners. These people are incredible. I totally checked them on the internet. They're amazing. Incredible. Everyone who tried to help students reach them through the screen. Anyone who tried to help somebody learn how to read or do math or find out some interesting facts about history or science or technology. Anyone who tried to help someone learn this past year is a Teacher of the Year. We have overcome so much and we've learned so much. And my hope is as we proceed through this next year, which kind of feels just as hard as last year. They know I'm not wrong. As we're going through this tough year, we don't forget the things that we've learned. We've learned how to rely on each other. We've learned to listen to our amazing administrators who have the best interests of our students at heart. We've learned to collaborate as teams. We've learned to reach out more than we've ever reached out before to our friends, to our neighbors. We have learned to be persistent. We have learned to overcome. And so I hope as we continue through whatever this year is going to bring us, and hopefully it will bring us something awesome, I hope that we continue to remember the things that we've learned. Some people say that last year was the worst year ever, yeah? I say it was the best year for growth that we've ever received. So everyone's a Teacher of the Year. Congratulations to all of you. And shout out to my husband and my 3 Guilford County Schools children who are amazing. Congratulations.
What a wonderful evening celebrating GCS and educators around GCS. Please give yourselves a round of applause for all you've done.
We had a great time this evening, and we hope you all did too. A special thanks to Guilford Education Alliance and Lenovo for sponsoring tonight's event. Be sure to watch GCS TV and YouTube for the replay of tonight's events. It's been told to me that there's much food outside this auditorium, so please grab it as you exit Grimsley's campus. I personally want to thank everyone in this room for what you all do on a daily basis. Thank you. Congratulations to all of you, and please be safe and have a wonderful evening. Thank you.